$1 million is not much money, but some people would be willing to give up a lot of things for it and be willing to do some crazy stuff for it as well. Case in point, Rooster Teeth. What sort of craziness will they throw out of their minds? I guess it's all depending on who's in here, on who's on this. Because if Gavin and Barbara are on here, I'm worried. I'm very
Says this week, Chris and Aaron from Social Disorder joined Burnie.
Oh, Chris Damaris. Okay, Chris. Okay, so
yeah. So
Chris was on the last one. He was the one that made the suggestion about, I think, the dog. The invisible dog.
No.
It's like no one would know. No one would know.
Oh,
Bang.
shot the dog.
Just keep the $1 million.
No.
A magic dog that could talk and everything, but no one else can see it but you.
You just thought you were a crazy person.
Yeah.
I would have done it. I would actually, the last one, I think we would have done all of them.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, $1 million is a lot of money, but for some of the things they ask, it's not.
No, the one that I would not do is gosh, I forget what it was. We would do the Muscleman, have the big guys
push around a stroller,
following us around and everything.
I'd let anybody push me around a stroller.
Yeah, and then the magic dog. What was it? It was something that made Ben just walk out of the room.
Oh, the birthday cake thing. Yeah. Well, he did that, but then it was like the nobody could perceive what the dog does, so he had the dog poop on the guy's plate or whatever, and he ate it. And
no, it was the spaghetti. You had the spaghetti coming out of your mouth the whole time.
Was that? Did we do that one?
No, I said no. I couldn't handle it.
No, I said I would just not go to the movies because I just wait for it to go. I just wait for it to come on DVD. I mean.
Okay, so yeah, these are some pretty good quandaries that they come up with, and
yeah, poor Ben. That's gonna become a thing. People are gonna realize that he has like no. He has all the gag reflex, and just start
him and Gavin both have the worst.
Just start
gag
suggesting horrible.
Sorry.
Nauseating things.
All right, so
that wasn't a hint at all. Don't ever do that.
No, don't ever do that, please. Send links to the videos down there in the description.
I'm just waiting for all the requests of people to be like, "Hey, Mike, I'll push you around in a baby stroller."
Oh God, and I could see it now, like some big hulking dude just like pushing you around and everything. It's like, need anything else? And you're just like, here's a 20. Go get me a sixer. Sixer what? Whiskey. What else? Lagavulin? Hell yeah!
No, I want the whiskey to be in like the little high C juice boxes from back in the day. Do they still make those?
I think so.
Yes, just like inject it in there and like punch a little straw in and just like drink it.
Yeah. All right, so we've got this one queued up here. This is Baby Burnie and Hitler Honeymoon. Nice alliteration there, guys. Here we go.
Orange
I was really nervous based on who the guests are for the show, and you two make me especially nervous. This is Chris and Aaron. You guys know them from Social Disorder.
Yeah.
Chris, I trust you more than I trust him. Why don't you start us off?
All right, so $1 million.
$1 million.
You give birth once a month to a miniature version of yourself.
Okay.
And it's this like little bitty baby of you. And then it goes through its full life cycle in 2 days, and then it dies.
In 10 hours or something, he'd be old enough to drink. And so you take him to the bar after half a day? Give this guy a drink, he's dying in a day and a half.
He's not gonna last long.
Get him a drop of whiskey.
How long does this last for? Does it last
the rest of your life?
The rest of your life.
Yeah.
In 4 years, you got 48 of these.
I know.
You would get a system going, though, because you know it's like January.
Right.
And the one comes out, and you're like, okay, we only have 2 days. I need you to dig 12 holes. That's what we're going to be doing.
Can you drop it off at like Option Center and like not say anything? And they're like, oh, but then they bring it in. They're like, what the hell is going on?
I love the way you think adoption works now. It's like a Charles Dickens novel.
You just drop it at the doorstep.
Jesus.
Please take care of my gentle little Burnie.
It's like, well, we don't know if we can find a home for this kid. It's like, just wait a couple days and see what happens.
I think it's going to
Run.
work out.
Is it sad when they die? Well, it's like dramatic. You're like,
For them, it certainly is.
they have to make a little bed, like
A little bed.
really.
They have little oxygen masks.
Oh.
Remember me? It's like, yeah.
I remember you number 28.
Outside the window are 48 graves.
You taking that?
I can't take it.
I wouldn't.
It's too much work. That's
No.
way too much work. The graves, the birthing, the potential drop off of the adoption. I'm out.
I'm taking
No.
it. 'Cause I could turn the million into a lot more. Just
Of
like
course
with a
you
little show
would,
with
Bernie.
these
Yeah.
guys.
You
I'm
sick,
taking the money,
sick
sure.
puppy.
Get $1 million.
How am I going to give
okay?
birth though? I don't have
But
it.
for the
Out of your
rest
ass, I
of your
guess.
Oh,
life,
that's nasty.
whenever you see a kitchen sponge, you eat it immediately.
Oh,
like you have
no.
an overwhelming
No.
compulsion.
No, you stop
to
it.
Eat a sponge
No.
when you see it.
Are they tasty?
No,
Oh.
it tastes like
It tastes
a
like a sponge? Okay.
You can't grab the sugar and be like, I just need a little.
Oh,
make
man,
the
if you
sponge
went to
go
bed
down.
back
I
again,
think
you die.
that will help. Sure, you might be like in the hallway at an office building. There's a sponge sitting on the side of a janitor's
Oh.
cart. There's not gonna be
Wet.
sugar around.
It's just covered in filthy mop water. It's just soaking and the juices coming down.
That totally looks like chocolate milk coming out of that thing.
I live
does.
a pretty sponge-heavy life.
Like we were talking about
No,
putting stuff on it.
I
Like you make a
couldn't.
hamburger sponge.
No, I'd
like
die.
You get a bun, you get some lettuce, tomato, you put a sponge on it, and you just eat it, and you're not even gonna notice.
Yeah, I would do that. You did
I
that?
eat anything.
Oh, that's rough.
No.
All right,
No.
Aaron. First time on the show. What do you got?
Nope.
It's a pretty mild one. You get $1 million, but once a month for a year, you have to go out on a nice date with Hitler.
Let me be perfectly clear.
All right.
And I would say this to Hitler.
Right.
I would say, look, if we're gonna do this, I'm making all the plans. Like, why don't we go to Paris? No,
I don't think
we're not.
Paris.
We could go camping.
Oh,
Camping with
that's
Hitler.
so cool.
But it would be great because after like 6 dates, he'd be like, "Don't you trust me?" And you give him that one date to plan, and then it's just like
trust me?
the restaurant is just burning, and you're like, "What? I did this for you."
Is it a thing too where it's like after
come
like the
on.
third date, he's like,
I was having
well,
fun.
it's we've been dating a long time.
You talking about going steady?
No, it's like or he wants to take it to the next level.
You're watching a movie with him, and he
He's
just
got a
kind of puts
pug.
his hand on your knee, and you're like,
What is the next level with Hitler
I'd
for you?
imagine
What is
him with
that?
a
No, I'm
German
just saying, does
Shepherd.
he have expectations?
Well, like what? That you're gonna bang him, or that you're gonna invade Poland with him? what are you
I don't know. It depends. I don't know.
No.
It depends on what he wanted.
What happens to Hitler at the end of the year?
He dies.
He dies.
But he dies of heartbreak.
It's like the last 5 minutes of the Notebook.
Oh.
You and Hitler.
It was just like
No, the last
always
five. No, it's
was
like the last
for you.
5 minutes.
Oh,
of
that
Mein
would be the
Kampf.
worst if like you had to hold Hitler's
Notebook,
hand in
instead
bed
Notebook's
lovingly,
Mein Kampf.
and the media's there and everything, and you'd be the guy that was like, I spent a year with Hitler.
You're
You could write a book though.
Mind date.
You know what?
Mind Dave.
I'm gonna say no. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't want to give Hitler the joy of my company.
I don't want to hang out with Hitler. He's such
No.
a dick.
No, I wouldn't do it either.
All right, nobody's taking $1 million
think I would
to
do
Hitler.
it.
What?
Hitler's the
I would
Achilles
want. I
heel.
would want to. I would
Good to
want to
know.
talk to him. And be
Hey,
like,
if you
what
like
exactly was
this
going through your
week's
head when
episode
you were
of $1
doing
Million
all
Bucks,
this
and why
stuff?
wouldn't you? Don't forget to
Guys, just
subscribe to our
guarantee
channel.
his-
and
Because it's
don't
going to
forget
last
watch
for a
these
year and then he
guys on
dies. It's one
Social
date a month. So
Disorder.
you meet him 12
Season
times,
2,
especially like an
airing
interview.
very soon.
You know, that's all dates are.
And
is
he'll
like
just
an
be
interview.
like, I was going to be. You need to set ground rules in the beginning. You just be like, okay. First off, no invading. Oh come on! I was going to invade Poland this winter. Come on, where's the fun?
Well, I
And
mean,
then-
if you could set the rules for the date, I mean, you know, it's like.
well, if you could set the rules, I'd just be like, okay, we'll have political conversations, but
Right.
you have to promise me you will not say racist things in public. And he's like,
Right.
ach, nein, I cannot do that.
But the thing is, I mean, people, it's like he's kind of attained supervillain status, but this was just a human being,
Yeah.
and all human beings have motivations, and it's like,
Well, his motivations, though warped they may be,
yeah.
but
this, I
he
mean,
arrived at that place from where he was. I mean, honestly, this guy wasn't born bad.
Well-
no human being.
Well, I
is
mean,
born
this is
bad.
one of the most influential people in history.
Well,
I mean, he was evil, but he was influential.
I was going to say, my history professor said this. If Hitler would have been assassinated in 1935, people would have praised him as a leader.
Sure.
Because he did something unbelievable. He got Germany out of debt in a few years after World War I. Germany was out of debt. It was a manufacturing powerhouse in Europe. And he did that. He did that with his plan and everything. Now people would have said, "Oh, he was a little anti-Semitic," but that's not you know, that wasn't his main basis.
Well, shoot,
for
I
when he
mean,
did stuff.
Like, Donald Trump might be the next president. I mean, you talk about, like, somebody, I mean, you know, it's like that's still going on today. I mean,
Well,
he's
there's
not,
no
he's not
guarantee he's going to
anti-Semitic,
get
but
us. No, he's not anti-Semitic. He's anti-illegal immigration.
people that look like me, or Mexican, I guess.
Well, I don't think he's really racist against people of color. You know, people. You know, I just think he despises. He's got the ideal of illegal immigration, which it's a touchy subject. I'm not going to delve into it because it'll start a flame war. I mean, it's already probably started a flame war down
Well,
below.
I was talking about wanting to question Hitler about his motives. The people will probably be like, "Why do you need to question about his motives? He's a bad guy." You know?
No. There's
it's
always,
like, I mean,
there's always a method to the madness, and it's always good to find the steps as to where he arrived at that destination.
well, I mean, I don't like Hitler. I think he's deservedly one of the most hated people in history. But at the same time, I mean,
honestly, when are you ever going to get a chance to dig into the brain of Hitler?
Sure,
while he's still alive?
I do think it's necessary to try and understand the motivations of your enemies,
Of course.
so we can destroy them.
Of course. Well, I was going to say you can understand what he went through, and then you can see oh, is this similar to Donald Trump or Bernie Sanders? Which, I don't know. I was going to say Hitler was a socialist, and Bernie's an admitted socialist.
I mean, Nazi. Yeah, Nazi was the National Socialist Workers' Party of Germany.
Yeah, so Hitler was a socialist, and I'm not saying he's Bernie Sanders. Well, Bernie Sanders is Jewish, so I guess that's kind of the oddity there. I mean, honestly, I'm not saying Bernie Sanders is going to be Hitler or anything like that. I'm not saying Donald Trump's going to be Hitler or anything like that. They may very well be. One of them may very well turn into it, but I don't know. I really don't know. But what we do know is that Hitler was a bad person.
Yeah.
And it would be interesting to find out what was the method to his madness.
Sure.
What were the steps he took on his destination to reach Mein Kampf?
The whole situation is very odd too, because it's like you go on a date with Hitler, but it's like what Hitler is it? Right?
Is it artist Hitler?
Is it Hitler right before he died? Is it Hitler right before he got rejected from art school? Is it, you know? But I mean, the one they showed is presumably like, you know, into World War II.
Yeah, in the midst, like peak World War II,
Right.
like 1940, like late 1941, like right after he declared war in the United States.
Right.
Right when he thought, oh, we are going to win this war, and then Antietam happened, and then El Alamein, not Antietam. That's the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
But El Alamein happened. Rommel gave up, and then Mussolini got sacked, and the Russians came in from the east, and the rest is history. And then him and Ava shoot themselves. Well, either shoot themselves or maybe they both took cyanide pills and then they shot themselves. I'm not sure. I mean, Hitler and Ava's bodies were burned severely when the Russians found them. I mean, so pretty much leaves an autopsy out of the question.
Sure. It is interesting. I mean, we only have what we're told. I mean,
yeah. I mean, honestly, we can go by recollections of people who were there, but even then, that's just a perspective.
how crazy would it be if they took him alive and he was like in some Russian gulag for like 50 years, just like letting rats nibble on him or something?
I was gonna say there was a lot of the German war criminals, like old German war criminals of the night, like a lot of them escaped.
Sure.
A lot of them escaped, and some of them made it to Brazil. Some of them made it to different places in the world, changed their names, changed their stories and everything. And there were some people who were, pretty much the early days of the Mossad, and the Israeli Special Forces, who were tasked with finding these people.
Oh, yeah.
And they found a lot of them in Brazil. They found a lot of them throughout South America, a few in Argentina that we know of. I mean, Lord knows how many were black-bagged and taken back to Israel and done who knows what to. I mean, I really don't want to know. But
Nope.
anyone who commits atrocious acts like that and applauds it, yeah, here's a first-class ticket to hell. Enjoy the ride. Because there is no justifying what happened for the Holocaust and for World War II. I mean, the Holocaust is bad, but the war that was caused by it that killed almost 100. How many was it? 100 million people?
I don't know. It's pretty staggering. And then, of course, the aftermath. I mean, you look at a lot of people under the Soviet Union.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, lots and lots of deaths.
Yeah, war is a horrible thing, and we're gonna go off the rails and argue about the necessities of war and everything. But before we do that, what did you all think of this? I mean, Would you do any of these? I mean, would you have a baby version of yourself for 2 days and then bury it?
Could
I
do
wouldn't. Would you do? What was the one that Burnie or that the sponge?
Yeah.
Would not do the sponge.
No. Ugh.
And then the Hitler one. I'd say no, but Micah says yes because
I would
he's
do it.
interested. He'd be interested in figuring out.
For the sake of philosophy. And if I got tired of it, I'd just shoot him in a stupid face, because who's going to put you in jail for shooting Hitler?
Oh, who are you going to offend? The Nazis?
I'd like
anyway,
shoot
guys,
him right in the mustache.
shoot him in the stash, like right here below the nose. Leave a hole where his stash was. All right, so guys, once again, what did you all think of this? Would you follow through with any of these? If so, let us know down in the comments below. Also, if there's other videos you want us to watch, let us know in the comments as well. And, until next time, Internet, check the description for all of our various other endeavors. Also, check the description to see the original of this, $1 Million Butt. Check out Rooster Teeth. They produce awesome content. And until next time, Internet, we will see you later. Peace out.